All right, so this is Werewolf by Night. It's this new special thing for Marvel that is on Disney Plus, more of a horror thing. And I think most people have liked it. I haven't seen anybody not like it, right? People have said it's the best thing in Phase 4. And we'll talk about that a little bit. I'll say how I feel about it in a second. It's directed by Michael Giacchino, and basically, what it is, there's this group of hunters, they hunt monsters, and they're all gathered for the head of those hunters, Bloodstone, his funeral or, ceremony, funeral ceremony. And uh, he has this stone, right, that's within his family, whatever, that he wields that can weaken monsters and things like that. And so they're going to do this essentially this competition to see who can lead them going forward, and they'll also get the bloodstone as a result. They have to take out this monster in this kind of maze type area that also has the stone attached to it, which weakens it, but also makes it like more angry and I guess more violent. Uh, Along with those hunters is the daughter of the head Bloodstone guy, Elsa Bloodstone, played by Laura Donnelly. And she would have just gotten it as her birthright, being his daughter, but she's been estranged from the family, ran away, and things like that. So now she actually has to earn it, just like any of the other hunters, and she's on an even playing field with them. So they go into this maze area. They also fight each other and things like that. It's very bloody to take out this monster. But then it turns out that one of the other hunters actually turns out to be a monster themselves, a werewolf, and some other things happen, as a result of that. So, a lot of people are liking this, and I like it too. I think it is easily the best thing I've seen from, when it comes to the MCU, Marvel, really since Endgame. So yeah, Phase 4. Um, I think it's well written. I like the way they capture the setting, the horror setting with the costume design. I like all the characters and the performances are all great, especially Verusa. That's the stepmom of Elsa. She was with um, the head Bloodstone. It's essentially his widow, played by Harriet Sansom Harris, and she is fantastic. Every line from her, she is really committed to this role. She's chewing up the scenery, and I loved every line that she gave. She was so good. I was laughing at it because it was like over the top, especially in certain parts, but it was so good. It really captured the whole horror thing, the horror element of it, the way that she was giving her lines. One of the hunters, or I'd say like the main hunter, is Jack, played by Gail Garcia Bernal. He was really great, along with the actress that played Elsa, and they had some really good kind of touching moments of them connecting with each other during the whole competition to go after the monster and things, and that was really good. It does a really great job of building suspense and kind of leading into things, even though it's very short, right? It does kind of take its time to lead into things. I mean, the werewolf doesn't come up till like towards the end. It's like the climax pretty much, and it is worth the wait. I mean, it is so good. Watching that werewolf just tear through people, blood on the camera, it is so good, and all the action is well choreographed too. It was definitely worth it. It was amazing. I loved that werewolf when we finally got to it. So I still have a couple issues here. It's a little too short. I think we could have got some more background on the characters. The character that turns out to be the werewolf. What was really going on with him. Why was he pretending to be part of the hunt? He has 100 kills. Was that all monster that he just let go? Things like that. There's more background that you could definitely have gotten from the characters and what's going on here. Not a big problem, but definitely something I noticed, and some other people have said so too. And also, there's some moments that I was like, okay, that's kind of ridiculous. There's a point where Elsa's getting her head bashed into something, and she afterward has nothing on her face. Her face is completely perfect still, completely clean. And I was like, okay, there should be something to represent what just happened to her, right? A cut or something like that. I mean, you got blood all through it. She gets cut at a certain point later on. You could have done something to her face to kind of rough her up a little bit as a result of what just happened. But whatever. Once again, that's not that big of a deal. What's a little bit of a big deal, there's a character, well, I'll just say Jack. He has a bomb. I won't say what he's doing with it. But he has a bomb, a little mine or whatever, and he's trying to figure out how to turn it on. It's like, how do you not already know? But whatever. He turns it on before he's even gotten to the place where he's going to use it. And it's like, oh shit, okay. So it might just blow up, I guess. But he has enough time just enough time to run all the way to where he needs to use it, throw it at a wall. It's supposed to stick. It doesn't. But he doesn't just leave it and have it just explode next to the wall. He goes back to go get it and then throws it another time, goes to get it. And then finally, when he finally just kind of like puts it on a crack of the wall, it blows up. Right? Basically, the time, the time limit on that bomb was whenever he got it to where it needed to be, and it got to the point where it was ridiculous. I don't know if that was just supposed to be a comedic or whatever, but it was to the point where it's like this is going too far. Also, the Bloodstone. The Bloodstone is a plot device, like just completely. It does whatever the plot needs it to do. Like it weakens the monster that they're going after, and it's like, why don't you just set the monster loose or whatever? This is a competition. This, you're really testing these people. Why would you try to weaken the monster, even if it does make it more violent or angry? You're still weakening it, so it kind of takes away from the competition. But one of the other hunter that turns out to be a werewolf grabs the. I could probably spoil that, but I'm not. Goes to grab the stone, and it blows him back and immediately hurts him. He's still in human form, and it's like, I feel like he should know about the bloodstone. He's been a hunter all this time. I'm sure he knows about it, right? Wouldn't he know not to touch it? But then again, either way, if it has that effect, how are you even able to attach it to a monster if it does that? I don't know, but whatever. The point where it was really like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. Obviously, there's not a full moon, or the hunter in question that becomes a werewolf wouldn't have even gone there. So he's like, yeah, it's full moon's 5 days away. Everything should be fine. Then it's like, no, 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 the stone can actually force you to turn into a werewolf. And it's like, really? It can do that? And somehow he didn't know that it could do that too. And it's like, okay. I mean, he's on the inside. Like, he should know about these things. That shouldn't come as a surprise to him. But, whatever. Especially with what they're actively doing at that moment. It's like, okay, clearly they've got something up their sleeve they're about to do. And that's probably going to be it. If he knew about it, which he probably should. But I'm like, man, this stone is like pretty much whatever you needed to do at that time. It's like that's what this stone does. It's very plot devicey, and it was a bit much. That being said, it's still really good. Right? I won't say great, but really good. It's still for me one of the best, easily the best Marvel thing that I've seen in a long time, and man, I want more things like this, man. Some of the effects were questionable, especially on that monster that they're going after initially. It's not She-Hulk, but it's definitely could have used a little bit more time. They definitely need to do something about the whole visual effects, thing with the artists and things like that. But still, really good, and I enjoyed pretty much almost every part of it, other than what I just said. So I'm gonna give it a just awesome. I'm not gonna give it my highest rating because of the issues I had, but still really good. I might actually go back and rewatch it, man. I really like the way that it kind of has that horror atmosphere, kind of like kind of down, really, and love the action, like I said. And the werewolf is so great. It's so great. So yeah, that's Werewolf by Night, and I'm done.